Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. You walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
I am just, you know what? I was like all into the jam. That was supposed to be my theme song. And then at the last second, I glanced down because Lucy's getting her roots done. Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo said she's not here today. And I get it. I love this line. And you're gonna recognize it because they have them and you can just tell. Okay. Right? You've seen these? Right. I'm not left-handed. I need it to be the other way so you can see what's on. Who knew? Mugs. Why not just put it on both sides? Why indeed? As we get older, so are the days of our lives. I'm not kidding. I'm like, the other day it was like, why does that orange peel have to look so porous for 30 minutes? I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad, but you got to joke about it. Aging gracefully should be a song. There you go. Or a keynote. There you go. Welcome to today's installment, everybody, of Bathrobe Moments. I'm being silly. Plus, here it is. I was like, oh, what did I print yesterday? And forget to take off the printer right over there. And I did. And it was my reminder. Time to renew my license. My birthday is the 4th of July. And I set the appointment. I have to have the vision test, which I went to the eye doctor thing 3 weeks ago and found out it was a 2-hour appointment. After I got there, I was like, can I reschedule? And that took like 3 years to get to that appointment. Now I'm like, what if they won't give it to me? I have night vision glasses. I'm gonna take those with me. Because if they see me doing all this, hello, Uber? Yes. No. And written test. As long as I ain't got to parallel park, I'm good. Anyway, seriously, and I'm scared to let the car do it. Can you do that? Does your car, raise your hand, does your car do that park? I'll let it drive around a curve or something like this. I ain't gonna go like this. I'm not there yet. And incidentally, I saw a woman the other day say, look who picked me up at the thing. And I'm sitting there, ooh, celebrity or something. Who picked her up? She gets in a car with no driver. No. If I'm going to be in a car and there's no driver behind the wheel, Jesus is going to be in the passenger side and I'm going to be in the back seat talking to him. Let's just put it that way. So there it is. That's all I got this morning going into it, except for the remnants of my meal, because the PR company has convinced me to stop eating on camera. So, but it's a process. So hold on. I'll be right back. I'm not on camera. Now I am. Now I'm in breach. I named it this for a reason. In case I woke up 2 minutes before, I'm already dressed. And if I want to eat breakfast, but now, syndication. Means you got to grow. So listen, today we have Lisa Anna Palmer. Remember, this is the week of Meet the Rock Stars. These are all people that are inside of the coaching world with me. And I love to highlight them from time to time. We got some big stuff coming this year. For real. A lot more container, collective based everything around here. And I happen to work with a lot of females. They're self-starters. I'm not saying nothing, bros, but I'm just saying, there it is. Don't throw bricks through my windows or anything, but they're best for me, my ideal client. So today, Lisa Anna Palmer from Canada is going to be here. Light Your Leadership. She's had a few specials on the network and been here as a guest from time to time. But if you don't know her, you're about to. So, just let me throw a few of the nuggets out, and then it's best that you meet her for yourself. So she is the founder and the CEO of the Light Your Leadership brand. Okay, so she's an executive coach. She's also the VP coach. We're going to get into that. That's a very unique niche for her. She's an author. She's a keynote speaker and the co-founder and also co-chair of the name I cannot pronounce, something WeTo, Our Future NGO. So she's going to get into that. That's one of her passion pieces. I'm aware of it, but I just can't pronounce it. I need to do better. So maybe she'll help me with that today. Put your hearts on the screen, won't you? It's our way of virtually saying, hello, welcome, get in here, as she comes down the hall, making her way to the stage. That's our friend, Lisa Anna Palmer. Here she comes. Oh, wait a minute. I'm good. Blessed. Highly. I'm better than good. I can't get on people about it if I do it myself. So no, I'm better than good. Here comes Tony the Tiger. Great. I am. I'm great, and I want to become greater. And being here with you today, make sure that that's going to be a slam dunk. How are you, Lisa Anna Palmer?
Oh, very good. So happy to be here on your show, Bathrobe Moments. I love it.
Thank you. Is that a bathrobe or just a beautifully colored frock?
It's a beautifully colored
What are you
frock.
wearing? Okay. I'm loving the
I was
you got
thinking
my
about a
color.
bathrobe this morning, but I went for this one instead. So
Is it allowed to wear lipstick in a bathrobe? I'm just asking.
all the time, for sure.
I was gonna say I know it is for me, but for you. I'm kidding. Okay.
Sure.
You gotta have a nice mule to slip into. Oh no, have you ever said this? Tell the truth. You're married and stuff, but have you ever done this? Excuse me. This prop is sitting there. I gotta use it while I go and slip into something more comfortable.
Yeah, and then I come out in a bathrobe and PJs.
And then you just kind of like saunter off, huh? Hey, I'm just, well, you know what? Seriously, because I'm trying to do better with the keeping the romance and stuff in my marriage and in my just in my spirit. You blow the spirit of life into everything in your life every now and then. And so yeah. Okay, I'm feeling guilty. Where did all that come from? Anyway, doctor, I've also been hearing voices. I'm kidding. Only the one that matters. Lisa, I said a few nice things about you, but how about this? Why don't I duck out and let you just say hello, lead with your heart, and kind of just tell people what you woke up with on your spirit today. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll come back in. Take as much time as you need, up to a minute, and then I'll be back.
Yeah, what I woke up with this morning. So, as Coach Lauren was trying to say, I'm the co-chair and co-founder of Mustakabali Wetu.
That's what I said. Oh, sorry. I didn't know the mic was on. My bad.
You were trying to say,
Sorry.
but it's okay. It's completely understandable. So, Mustakabali Wetu actually means our future in Swahili. And the connection with me is, and what I woke up with, the message I woke up with this morning is to talk about big dreams, because Mustakabali Wetu, Our Future, is an NGO that I founded first with my late friend, Jeffrey Kiara Ndoigo from Kenya. And now I'm working closely with his family in trying to help support children in the town of Mogotio. And now we're going to expand out. So the idea of Big Dream is because Jeffrey's first iteration was called Big Dream for Africa. And he was a regular guy, just like the rest of us. And he had this big dream, and now it has a ripple effect that's stretching around the world. And that's what I want to talk about this morning.
I remember he was young too.
Yeah, he was 35.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really difficult year last year. So he passed away January 15th, 2024, and prime of his life, and he had such big dreams. And one of the biggest lessons I take away from Jeffrey's life and his legacy is that when your dream is so big, so pure, because all he wanted to do was help people in his town and beyond. And when your intention is so strong, it transcends your life. And that's what happened with Jeffrey. And now, there's a whole bunch of us working really hard to make keep his dream alive. And we're even working on a documentary. And it's really an inspiring story. While it's sad to think about Jeffrey, I know he's watching over us right now. So,
well, I agree. And I know this story from pretty much, I believe, the beginning or somewhere near it anyway. But before we go too deep into that, let's go into the Lisa piece. Just a little piece down the road, if we could. And so, leadership. Now, you came through the corporate door?
Yeah. So I started my own business back in 2011.
Mhm.
I worked in corporate. I was in HR and leadership and organizational development. But I burnt out 3 times, 3 whole times. And I think I'm a bit stubborn that way until I was working with a coach and he helped me see that it wasn't a time management problem or any other problem than learning how to say no. Learning how to say no. And then, upon reflection through the years, because I started off as an HR consultant when I started my business, um, I really zeroed in on leadership because that's at the heart of all the issues in organizations and in society. Both my own self leadership of not having been able to set my own boundaries and negotiate, it was good for me in terms of delivering work, but also the leadership of those around me who didn't notice that here was, a high performer burning out every few years because she was not able to say no. So it's and just piling on. So a lot of
Yeah.
the message is to really light your leadership is about, you know, lighting your.
Wait, nice try. Do you see how she tried to speed through that intersection? She, girl, who got you up in here with?
Oh, you trained me well. What can I
Yeah,
say?
guess what? The highway patrol is on the road today. Ma'am, pull over. Pull over. Huh?
What would you
One more of
like?
those, I'm gonna have to ask you to step out of the car. So, look, we're gonna talk about that piece right there.
Yeah.
First of all, you burn out 3 times. How are you gonna say that in just 3 times? A lot of people don't make it back or don't feel like they're going to make it back from one time, half a time, a quarter time. Burnout, it means you've been burning all the way to there's nothing left, crispy ashes, just done. So I want to ask you this: 3 things. 3 is the big thing for me lately. I look for the 3. The 3 little pigs, 3 blind mice, the 3 bears, 3 wishes, past, present, future, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. What is it? Matt. What are those 3 boys in the furnace? Radcheck, Meshach, and Abednego. 3, right? 3 threes. So, number 1, burnout. How did you burn out? You burned out, let's say 1, gone.
Yeah.
Okay, it just put it out. Now that wick right there. So it's that wick down in the wax. Because I've gone and stared to try to understand why did they name it that. This candle burned out. Look, it's way down there. There's no wick left. Did you replace? They don't usually come with 1 wick. So did you did you do this? Did you remove the wick and replace it? Or did you replace the entire candle? And then did you relight it in the same way that you lit the original one? Because when you were relighting it, were you like, okay, I'm going to watch this wick this time. I'm going to catch it before it burns out. What was the plan? And then, since there was a third, how was that different? And then they say, there's that 3 again. 3rd time's the charm. 3 strikes, you're out. Something about that 3. 3 wise men. Did I say that? Y'all starting to catch it, right? Are you tracking? Okay. I'm telling you, something about those. Start looking for them in your life. Let me just say, I love playing the game with high power. Look, I looked over. As soon as I said, start looking for the 3, I saw 1, 2, 3. 3 things on sticks standing out. See? Because when you seek, you're going to find. You keep doing those things you think that don't matter. That's just being silly. Watch what it'll lead you to. So now I got my part out of the way for the whole hour. Lisa, here it is. Take us into 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Because they must have led to the place you've been ever since. So why did it take 3? Is it a formula? Is it an equation? How do you look at it? And how do you teach others to grow from it?
Yeah. I think by the 3rd time I started to come to my senses. You asked when the wick burnt, what did I do with it? Did I change it? Did I light a new candle or whatever? I think what happened was that I burnt out of energy. I burnt out of physically, I wasn't feeling good. And the first time I would say probably wasn't as bad as the second and third. So it was a bit of a wake up call, but I didn't notice it. I was young. I was only 28 years old. I was working for a big six firm, and there was a lot of work, not only, right? So what I did was I think I didn't replace it. That's why I kept burning out. And I just kept with the same
Relighting
pattern.
the same old tattered wick.
Same old tattered thing. But for some reason, I mean, I still was able to perform, right?
Well, wait a minute. Was that because you were 28 when in the background you hear Freddie Mercury every day? I'm going to live forever. Right? Because that's how you think at that age. You're like, I ain't never getting old. Look at all this shit. Right.
I think it's the way I was wired to be a dutiful person. I'm a daughter of Italian immigrants. Hard work, excellence, perfectionism, all those things are very valued and encouraged. So I just kept with the same program, and then I changed employers.
Because there are there are all kinds.
Yeah.
Encouraged or demanded?
No, it was more encouraged. It was
it was some people
recognized. It was celebrated. And it's like, oh, what a good girl. You're working hard.
Okay. Well, the reason I bring that up is because it's not that way for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people have that pressure, excuse me, because of the shoulders they stand on or the expectations of the shoulders that got them here. Especially because you said immigrant. You said there's a lot of, listen, all of our dreams rest on you.
Yeah. So
right?
it was less about that, more about sacrifice. You got to sacrifice to get ahead in life. So that was the message, right? You got to sacrifice.
Sacrifice what?
Sacrifice whatever it takes, right? And in my case, what happened was I would just show up and do work and do great work, but it was very hard physically and mentally. And I didn't realize that you could say no at work, that you can manage expectations and all that stuff. I was taught that you follow what your authority says, your boss says. So, and also I wanted to do a good job. So I probably went the extra mile on a lot of stuff. And that's where part of the leadership perfectionist piece comes in. So I didn't realize at the time, I was so young. But now in hindsight, at 54, I can say, well, I needed to rewire all those beliefs. So the second time, the added.
Wait. Before you go to the second time, because I need to know.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down. So the first season, would you say, because you were inside corporate? I never really was. I worked for Whirlpool for a minute, but I was just on the phones and stuff. I wasn't like an executive or anything like you guys. Would you say people pleasing in that scenario? People pleasing and a yes person, yes man or yes woman.
Yeah.
Is that the same? Is that the same mindset, being a people pleaser and a yes person?
I would say they're slightly different. So people pleasing, definitely. I wanted to, I love to make people happy from when I was a kid, right? I like that. Yes, I wouldn't say yes person because I said yes to work, but I was a senior consultant. So I had to sometimes offer different options and different perspectives and all that. It was part of my job to make recommendations. So it wasn't that I was agreeing with everything necessarily, but whenever I was asked to do work, I would do it. And I would never say, oh, I'm too busy or whatnot. I would just, they keep piling it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's my point. That's my point. And see, a lot of people see 1 billion quadrillion tricked her, I say. No, because stepped right in it, didn't she? It was this one. A lot of us, we know this one about, I just don't know how to say no. But then there are people who don't know when to say yes. Well, there's people that know how to say yes, but then they don't know when to say no. And neither one of those is the same thing. There are 4 different roads there. Yeah. And so, right? So what did it build? What kind of callus did it build on your spirit? That rubbing against it. You know what I'm talking about. That
the first one? the first burnout or all of them?
Well, each one is a layer. So the
Yeah.
callus would be
So
all of them.
I would say the first one, I thought I had to change employers. So I thought I had to change my external circumstances. I didn't realize the connection to what goes on internally, right?
Oh, you thought the problem was all about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I mean, at 28, that's that's probably
Clearly, I know it ain't all this.
God, you didn't even realize.
What is wrong with them? As if.
Especially back in the 90s,
Right.
Like
I know, but you remember how we used to think?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
Right.
Okay. Oh, whatever.
So I thought, in my infinite wisdom of a 28-year-old, that if I changed employers, that everything would be fine. And so I did. And guess what happened? I didn't burn out there because I was only there 2 years, but I worked hard, and I kept up the pace. It was a bit better because the work hours, the expectations, the role wasn't quite as demanding. But then I got another job after 2 years because it was a promotion and it was a different employer, and it was fantastic.
Now how old now?
So now I'm about 29 or so, 29, 30. Yeah.
Right now you're 29?
Oh no, back
I'm
then.
kidding. I'm kidding.
About my burnout.
That's true.
I'm 54.
I know. That's two, you guys. She stepped right in. I told you, look out for the threes.
See, I'm paying attention. I'm following.
2 down, 1 to go. How will I get her? 1
So
billion.
the second time, this is a problem I had. I would volunteer for everything. Like I didn't like any awkward pauses at the management table or whatever when somebody would say, "Oh, who's available to do this project or that project?" And not only that, I would volunteer a lot of ideas, and the ideas were pretty good. So they're like, "Oh, that's great. Why don't you take that on?"
So why did you do all that?
Because I was enthusiastic. I loved what I did.
It made people happy. And did you like what they
said? I thought I could do it. And
Lisa, you always do such a great job, Lisa.
Right?
Oh my God, you did it again.
Right.
So you were very pleased. They were very pleased with you. These people.
Oh, absolutely.
So wait a minute. So these people were very pleased with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And
so pleased they gave me more work.
And so right. And every time they did, you said yes.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
Okay, there it is. Number 3. People pleasing. I just walked her down there. So these people were pleased. Yes. And then every time they piled more on me, and you said no. I said yes. Yes, ma'am. Remember, somebody said no. They're slightly different.
Well, hang on. Just back up on that one, because the question was, I think it was approval seeking and people pleasing, or no? Yes, yes, ma'am.
I wrote it down so I could say it the same way. Nice try.
If it's being a yes.
People pleasing and yes, man. See, this is why we write this down.
Let me clarify. When I said the difference is a yes man to me is somebody who agrees with everything. So on the content of the work, so I was making differentiation.
Who agrees?
On the content of the work, I did it. But when it came to assigning work, I said yes. So I just want to make sure, because that happens a lot.
When you said assigning work?
No, like for example, like if somebody asked me my opinion on a particular topic on HR or whatever, and maybe it was different than maybe what the VP or the director thought, I would not go ahead. I would not go along with it if I knew different and I made recommendations. So I was not right. But I would say yes, though, if they assigned it to me. So that you see, there's a difference there.
No, but I'm talking about the little extras.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I love the extras.
There it is again. Yes. With fervor.
Not only did I say yes to extras.
I'm tired. Yes.
I created extras. Right? By volunteering and coming up with new ideas. I didn't realize that. And
then you're like, oh, it's too much. I'm burned out again. Right. Okay. So
add to that, that whenever I made a commitment, I would follow through on it no matter what. That was a problem too.
Okay. So what did you start? What were the red flags? Certainly you must have seen some round 2 and round 3 that you would see. Wait, in round 1. So what was the one that showed up first? 1, 2, and 3. Did you bite your nails? Did you overeat? Could you not sleep?
No, pain.
What?
Migraines and stomach pain.
Oh, just a migraine. Not some
They
simple
were
little
bad.
headache that you can dismiss. A migraine.
Yeah. Stomach pains.
Okay, let's just wait there. Let's just let this one sit out in the middle of the intersection. Roadkill. Literally. Just let it sit out in the middle of the road and look at it. Stop your cars, everybody. Dang. Right. What's that look like? See, right there. We're not going to rush right through that. I said, what's the number? What was the first warning sign? Migraine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take a baby aspirin. You don't take some chamomile tea. Put on some little Gaia thing. Migraine. I had a sister with those. She used to tiptoe through the house.
Yeah, I ended up in the hospital. Yeah, it was bad.
So, and that wait, and we're still in the intersection. See how fast it wants to hobble off the street out of the middle of the. No, stay out there, because Lisa, for every one of you that made it, for you who made it through, I guarantee you there was a handful or more that did not.
Yeah.
That had a migraine that led to a stroke, that had a migraine that led to something else, to a heart attack, whatever. This is what happens, right? And so that's why we see, that's the beauty of having a burnout session 3 times in your career. Because then you start thinking, now you stop. Because let's talk about that. Did you ever worry that, listen, I better make some changes or this could literally kill me?
Yes, I'd say after the second one, because that's when I was probably about 33 or 34. And I had a small.
Are you having a family yet, or no? That hasn't started.
Yeah, no, I had a small child who I loved so much, and
level where
I wanted
see it.
Right. So, I wanted to be home with him. I couldn't because, or in my mind, I couldn't. Right. In hindsight, I'm like, oh, I could have done that very differently. So I was in a director position at this point. I had about 22 direct reports and working on huge files.
Okay, wait a minute. Not all of us have been in corporate. When you say direct reports, you mean people?
Yeah.
Or
people reporting in my
report.
In my division. I was young. I was only 33, and I had a lot.
But we're talking people.
Yeah.
Responsibility for that's another rush through.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't even. What did you stop right there? Because the thing is, you're teaching right now. The warning signs. That's what the topic is right now. And you said how many reports?
22.
Right. Now, I saw what I have laid out over here. A report. But I knew you were talking, because you work with me. I knew you were talking about people. And when we talk about people, we're not just talking about seats. We're talking about souls. That is a huge responsibility because of your heart.
Yes.
Who you are. Now, if you're one of those people, you don't give a shit, this and the other, then la 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 la, they seem to thrive from it. But something catches up later because we're talking about the signs. So you got a small child, you got all these souls.
Yes.
So there's a bridge between you go to work, home, work, home, work. Then on the off days, the things to keep home together and the things you need to keep work together. Were you taking work home with you? Yeah.
Well, that was on a good day because back then it wasn't as easy to get a laptop. So you'd have to take one out and all that stuff. So I'd end up staying at the office, which was worse, because I was by myself at the office.
What about the small child?
Well, my husband stayed home with him for a while because we didn't know what else to do.
Okay. Was there any stress on the family dynamic? Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. So, the stress was, our son went to daycare for a bit, but then he kept catching viruses and stuff like that. And my husband wasn't really happy where he was. So we made a decision as a family because I was at the time having the bigger income. So to alleviate some of the stress, believe it or not, it got to this point. We decided that he would stay home with our son. So at least one of us could be there. Of course, I wished it would have been me because I love being a mom, but it wasn't what was feasible. So the next best thing was for him. So it actually helped a lot because he was able to take care of the house.
A
And
lot of families have to do that.
yeah. So at least one of us could be there with him.
Right.
But that meant that I felt even more pressure at work because, of it was riding on me too. So of course I said no even less.
So real quick, just
Right.
for a point of reference for emotional things too.
Yeah.
Because we did mention sacrifice. So
Yeah.
this is a great spot because I know what that means just from when I'm talking to my fellow veterans. Sacrifice. People say, oh, thank you for your service, but we know about sacrifice. So all the missing the first tooth coming out, putting the money under the pillow, the first step, the first words. Now, did you have regrets like that because you had to be away? Like you heard about milestones in the raising as your children developed, and that's a casualty in a way, isn't it?
So fortunately, I was there for the milestones. It just so happened. I guess my son timed it right on a weekend or something. So I was fortunate to be there. I felt guilty, but more than that, it wasn't so much guilt as like a really strong desire to want to be at home, being a mom. But the fact that I couldn't, I think that contributed to the burnout as well.
Did you ever think you were being a bad mom?
I guess I would have sometimes when I was stressed, and I would let that stress get in the way of being present with my family. Yes. However, I also I didn't beat myself up too much because I was seeing that I was doing it for my family, to be able to pay our bills, and to put food on the table,
Exactly.
and to allow my husband to stay home with my son, because if it couldn't be me, I wanted it to be my husband. He's an amazing man, and he's a great dad. So
do you think, Lisa, sorry, but do you think that it could be a better society, a better balance in a lot of homes if more men were okay with doing what your husband was able to do? Do you think some men are resistant because they don't want to be looked at like they're not doing their part as a man?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's hard work.
It's very hard work, and I think our son benefited from it. They have a really great relationship, and he's a great role model. And I think we could organize ourselves so that both the mom and the dad or the other parent has time with the child. So he was able to stay with him for like a year and a half. So which before he started his next job. I really am happy that we had that opportunity.
Yes. Yeah. Yesterday, I had a conversation with one of my original 5 coaching clients from 10 years ago, Joshua T. Berglund. Hi, Joshua. And he'll be working with our team on what we're putting together with the crossing the borders kind of thing, the crossover event we're going to start putting together for this fall. You guys keep your ears and eyes open.
Yes.
More to come on that. Taking 2 groups of women, Team USA, Team Canada, and bringing them together to put the lead back in leadership through a female perspective. And I want to talk to you because actually when I kind of assigned you the official role of mentoring one of my newbies, one of our newbies, because we're family, kind of led to this whole thing. Because then I was like, well, they're together. They're under the same roof, known as Canada. Then I started pointing out how many of you there were. And I was like, we have an entire collective. We need a container. Right. And here we are. And so let me ask you, because I had a friend yesterday, what I was leading to was someone said, and Joshua said this. He goes, listen, now this is good. He goes, listen, I ran the pitch after I sent the thing out to you guys. All those women listed in there by 4:00 yesterday, 100% of you had said, I'm in on this idea, which just made me so. And Joshua said, I went and spoke to someone I want to introduce you to because she's one of those same. We were just talking about this, and we agree that one day women are going to rule this world, and I think they should. Listen, I had 22 moms. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. And I'm like, man, they're like, I saw from the superhero to superhero to, it's like they can do so many things, right? That's why God said they're in charge of keeping the world filled with new souls, because if they'd have left it to us, it wouldn't have made it out of the garden. Nobody. That was it. And wrap the garden. We've been laid under the tree. Wouldn't have been an apple on it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Yeah, it's going to be a great event, and I love the idea of bringing people from both our countries together. We've been such great neighbors for such a long time. I think we need to make sure that message stays out there, that we still are, and we could still care about each other no matter what happens at with the powers that be. So I think that coming back just in terms of the message, right, about the burnout, because I want to close that out because it's important. So the third time was about boundaries. I was actually had managed to get my my work balanced, but then I had a senior leader who was really crossing boundaries and was being unfair to me. So that time, it kind of all came together, learning to set boundaries from a perspective of managing work, to learning how to set boundaries with people who are crossing or not treating us properly. So that self-advocacy piece really came out. So I went from, I call myself a recovering people pleaser now, and I know how to set boundaries. So it's really something that's important to me, that this is what I help other leaders with, because it's so common. I'm not alone. And I know so many who are in the pressure cooker.
So take me back down through it. You said boundaries. There were two categories, I believe.
Yeah.
What were they again?
So on the one hand, it was knowing how to manage expectations and to say no when there's too much work, right? And to be more reasonable and set
boundaries
priorities
when it comes to others.
And then there's the piece about boundaries where somebody is not treating you fairly or properly or disrespecting you, and knowing how to stand up for ourselves in that perspective. So
tolerance boundaries.
Yeah.
The whole thing about don't stay where you're tolerated, find where you're celebrated.
Right. Well, and knowing how to say, hey, standing up for yourself.
Well, tolerance is if you're tolerance means, I'm not going to tolerate.
Right. Yeah. And this is what I expect.
This way, or
so I'm not going to tolerate this, and this is how I expect to be treated. So clarifying, because it's important. I think people sometimes forget that piece. They'll say what they don't want. However, they forget to say what they do want and how to be treated. Yes.
So what about the third piece? You told you 3 is the theme. So what about the boundaries? I mean, as far as who we set boundaries with, what about boundaries we need to set with ourselves?
Exactly. And I think what is a very important element in that is clarity. It's clarity about what's important to us. It's clarity about what our passions are. It's clarity around what dreams we have, because when we are clear on those things, then it gives us the strength to pull us through and to be able to set those boundaries with ourselves and then with others as well.
So you said clarity of what's going on.
Yeah.
Right in front of us. Right.
Yeah. It's what's inside. So if we look at the journey, it went from when I was in my late 20s, looking at the external world of, if I change my external situation, then, I'll be happy, I'll be healthier, I won't burn out. Whereas by the time I was in my late 30s and my early 40s, that's when I started my company. It was about, no, what I need to do is work on myself and then that, right? Work on the inside. Yeah.
And so where are we today? Because remember, another clue, here it comes. Here we go, y'all. So that's 2. Clarity about today, clarity about the future has come from all this. So the third one. So what about clarity about never forget, the clarity when we look down the road after all that smoke clears? Smoke from what was on fire that we ran out of, the stuff that caught on fire as we lit it, running past it, because it breeds when you're, trust me, I caught on fire, ran. So, and you're like, you know, who does that? Drop and roll. I ran twice. So don't judge. But then also the smoke from the tires when we screeched, we got in the getaway car and peeled off. We just don't clash with it. Everybody ready? Okay. Everybody need to use bathroom before we, no, you get in and you floor it to get the hell on, right? So I just want to ask you about this. So today, because this is where you are, and this is where that would serve the most. When you look over there and you see all that behind you, any beauty come from those ashes?
I see the light, right?
Oh, clever. There it is. The light of the leadership, the light in it.
Yeah.
So how do you take that and hand it over to others so that they don't have to? How do you
my
do that?
goodness. Well, I devoted my entire life's work to that. And that's how I became a coach, an executive coach. I wanted to be able to help people really get clear on what's important to them in their life, and to also raise their awareness around what's happening, because I was not aware. That's why I burnt out, right? I was not aware what's going on. So that's one of the first things we want to do, is become aware of what's going on around us, gaining clarity about what's important to us, and then, you know, what dreams do we have? Where do we want to go in the future? And those don't need to be you know, the biggest of the biggest dreams, but the dream could be, you know, I want to be healthy, I want to be happy, I want to live the life and give and be of service in a way that's aligned with what's important to me in my life and my legacy. So those are the kinds of things that are important for leaders to realize, because otherwise it's the same kind of thing. They think that whatever's happening externally is what's creating all the tension and the pressure cooker in their life. And if they don't look within, and that's what a coach does, they don't look within and find their solutions and find their answers, then they'll keep repeating the same patterns. And that's what's really key, is finding out what are those patterns, and then shifting the mindsets around that, the belief systems, and really becoming more authentic. So peeling back the layers is an important part of that as well.
Okay, good. So now we're going to go and say, we were surfboarding, if you will, everybody, on the waters of the things we get paid for when we get up and go to work. So now the last few minutes of this interview, since we've worked together so long, I know you can deal with it. Now we're going to talk about the work, you know, which usually involves all of our spiritual and all of our emotional, and the reason they're called growing pains, and how we can still experience that and still, on the other hand, count it all joy, and the promises that we reach for when we're being tested, not because what is greater than us doesn't have faith that we can conquer or slay whatever challenge stands before us. They test us so that they can literally push each of us into the self-realization of the fact that whatever is standing there, we've already slain or conquered. We just don't realize it fully. And so I want to ask you this, because this is to me, one of the most important pieces of all. And that is when, you know, you get it and you want to give it away. Let's talk about the responsibility, the growing pains that keep you invested, because I've seen it. And that's the thing I admire most about you, Lisa. And I don't ever want you to not be able to wave that flag, because you earn the right to do that. So I want you to close out by just being vulnerable. I'm going to actually leave the screen and just let you speak to those women out there who feel like giving up, when you feel like you're running on fumes, when your health and things just keep popping up, and it seems like everything is conspiring to take you out, like you're in a bar room brawl, back on Gunsmoke days, and you're slugging it out for your life, and you're the one that just keeps getting up from behind that poker table. Every time you're like, please just stay down, he's gonna knock you out again, but you get back up, and it looks like, from what I can tell, this time you're staying up. And so I want to give you a chance to talk about that. Okay. Because this is
Yeah.
the antidote that has come from all the poison and poisonous situations. Everything serves us. Okay. Take it away and pour into everybody. We got 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I think if I were to share, going back to the message that I'm feeling called to share today is don't give up. Even below all the difficulties and all the stress and burnout is to come back to yourself and to really partner with yourself. Remember all that's going on inside in our hearts, in our minds, in our intuition, what we're being called to do. And when I'm going to go back to the idea of passions and dreams, because passions and dreams give us the fuel that we need to get through very difficult circumstances. It's interesting to me because, in a few weeks, there's an event coming up. It's called Dream Big, Change the World. And it's a reminder that never to give up on your dreams, big or small, because they do change the world, be it the world in your home, in your society, in your school, your community, or world at large. And what those dreams do is they hold up a mirror to us. So as soon as we get them, we get excited. And then it's, oh, how am I going to achieve it? How am I going to achieve it is by taking steps towards it. And we get to make a decision. Do I need to do what needs to be done to grow into that dream? Which means learning to set boundaries, learning to get clarity, learning what's important to you, doing the internal work, shifting your mindsets and your beliefs. Or am I going to stay status quo and just keep wondering for the rest of my life what could have been? So that's the decision. And we don't need to wait till we're millionaires or billionaires to make our dreams come true. We just need to take a step and get that clarity and allow that dream to pull us through difficult circumstances and to help us grow, because we will. And it's a really important idea or concept to have that which is in your heart to be expressed into the world. And I've worked with thousands of people, and every time someone has a dream, it's usually about helping others, about making beautiful things, about creating, and it does make the world better. And that comes back to, it makes me think of my friend who, is no longer with us, and his dream is continuing to grow. Yeah. So that's the importance of the dream.
There you go. It's not just about me. It's about we. It's about us. It's about the village. It's about the stone soup story that we live within today. If you don't remember that childhood story, I suggest you Google it. Stone soup. It is a mindset. Bring whatever you have, put it inside the community pot, and guess what? You might be surprised what cooks up at the end of the day. Everybody can get fed. So that's what we're here to do. And listen, great job, Lisa Anna Palmer. Scrolling along the bottom of the screen, everybody, is just one of the roads to continue the dialogue with Lisa Anna Palmer and all things Light Your Leadership, including the VP Coach. And if Instagram is more your speed, there you go. It is there and it is available. Now, we have already taken the liberty to drop 3 links. One is at the very top of your screen, of your thread. If you scroll all the way back up, you're going to find that's what is that again, Lisa? It was the Eventbrite for the event that you were talking about.
Yes.
We have that link that's already inside there. So go in and click in, go in and take a look at the event and remind us, what's the name of it again, Lisa?
It's called Dream Big, Change the World.
Okay, that link is in there at the top of the thread. And then most recently, you'll find Lisa's LinkedIn and her Instagram, which now you see rotating at the bottom of your screen. Listen, tomorrow, come on back. Martha Katawa, remember her? Glory, All In. Remember, Martha was born into a cult, large family. One sister still remains in that captivity. And boy, has she taken it to the next level. You'll meet that rock star tomorrow, followed by the husband-wife team of the Rockstar Diaries TV show coming out in just a few weeks on the E360 Trajectory Network. That's Jenny Emily Smith and her husband Tracy Lee Smith. And then rounding out the week, Corey Castle, professional wrestler, Rockstar. You know him from Meet the Experts every month. He'll be here to round out the week of Meet the Rockstar. So thank you again, Lisa Anna Palmer, for all you do. We honor you. And thank you for being a star among rock stars. I mean that.
And thank you, Dr. Lauren. Thank you so much for helping me live my dream.
Oh, couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't want to. Thank you. You do the same for me. And I mean that. I really mean it. Thank you for that. Thank you. Listen, you all, get out of here, won't you? And find one E and one R. Seek and you will find it. Take everything you already are in this very moment. I know you're great. I know you're bright. I know you're wonderful. I know you're smart. Take it bright to brighter, great to greater, strong to stronger, bold to bolder, and my personal favorite, kind to kinder. Be kind, won't you please? And remember, don't let my screen door slam on your way out. I'll see you tomorrow morning, God willing, over on the front porch together. We'll have another illuminated conversation right here on Bathrobe Moments. All right. I love you. I tell you every day. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Go and have the best day ever. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Lisa. Great job.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Lauren.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye, all.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How explicit do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine.